the end of this year and this summer, and then going into next year, I feel like all my struggles this year and what I've learned, I can take and put myself in a good position next year and go out there and try and compete for a championship.
Yeah. Well, Chase, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Best of luck in Salt Lake the next 2 rounds, and hope to see you on top of the box at some point, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Man, it's great. Always catching up with Supercross riders. We got Dean Wilson up next. A couple of bangers between Chase Sexton and Dean Wilson. I do have to give a shout out to my boy Sean Brennan. Been a guest on this show. He's invited me out to Supercross. Was there in Texas. He's also been just a phenomenal advocate of the show, always helping place riders over the past few years. I mean, you've seen some of the biggest names in Supercross drop in on this show, and there's a reason why, and that's because the PR guy over there at Supercross, Sean Brennan, helps make that happen, and I just want to give a quick shout-out to him. Tell him thank you for everything you've continued to do for the show. And with that, we got Dean Wilson coming up next right here on the General Tire Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Don't just shred your way through any off-road rugged terrain. Get into gear with GSP XTV and let us redefine your adventure. The GSP advantage of quality and performance sets a standard for UTV axles. We strive to provide premium ATV and UTV axles to keep you shreddy ready. Kick up some dirt and get in the driver's seat with GSP XTV. With over 35 years of experience, drive with a company you can trust. Drive with GSP. For more information, please visit us at gspxtv.com today.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the General Tire Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome another one of my guests this week to the show, Supercross rider Dean Wilson. Dean, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I got to say, I have kind of closetly been a longtime Dean Wilson fan, only because my trophy truck and race number is 15 and my social handle is Jim Beaver 15. So I've always kind of been like a little bit attached and watching what Dean Wilson does just because you always rep the 15. So I'm just putting it out there, man.
Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. It's a good number. It's a good number.
Yeah, it's treated me well in my career, and obviously any of us that make a living racing anything, I would say you've been a success. So I don't know. We'll just start from there and see where this interview goes, man.
Yeah, no, perfect. No, it's good. It's legends that have had it. McGrath, I think that was his first number on factory Honda, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, and then obviously the real Red Dog. So yeah, there's definitely some good riders that have had it.
Yeah. Here's a question, and this goes back, like, it can feel like riders and racers, like, I've had the 15, and there's no real reason behind it, but when I first kind of turned pro and had to, like, secure a number, it was kind of one that was available, and I kind of liked it. Kind of, out of all the ones I kind of drew to it. How did you end up with that number? It's always an interesting conversation on how people land with the number they've got.
So, as an amateur, I was always number 28. My birthday's December 28th. It was always 28. And then, then as I got older, I kind of always clashed with another kid that had 28. So I was 128. So then I was 128 pretty much my whole career, amateur career. And then I went into my first year pro, and somebody had number 128. So I had to have 108. So my rookie year, my number was 108. And then I got a national number after my rookie year from all the points that you accumulate. So yeah, that's where 15 was available, but I actually wanted to go back to 28. But funny enough, at that time, my teammate Tyler Rattray at the time picked 28. So I just chose the 15, and stuck with it.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into talking a little bit about this season, because it's been a weird season for you. I mean, you've been super consistent this year, but obviously went down with injury, and then we had like the fluke deal, like the fluke of all flukes that we got to talk about. It was like a series of unfortunate events where you didn't qualify for the main, but by and large, dude, you've been in the top 10 pretty much every single race you've been in. It's been kind of a little bit of a weird year for you. You feel that way?
Yeah, it's been tough for sure. It's definitely not one of my best years, but I came in, did the first 3 races. I was still in the mix and I was right there, but my starts were hurting me. And then after that, I broke my toe and a little bone in my foot. And so I missed 3 races right there. And then I came back with my foot still all jacked up. I just kept racing, and that's why, I was a bit rusty and kept going into LCQs because I really didn't have a lot of riding time. So I kind of just raced with that injury all year, and I kind of hurt my knee as well while I was at it. And unfortunately, that was just a really big dampener on my season. And then, at Atlanta 1 there, it was wet. It wasn't really too much of a mud race, but in the heat race, I had a goggle malfunction, and I had to go to the LCQ. So I went to the LCQ, and I was third off of the start, and another rider came into me, and man, I fell, and I was just panicking. I got off. I must have passed 12 guys within 3 corners, and then I fell again. And then that was just devastating because then I really put myself behind. And then with the race only being like 5 minutes long, I was the qualifying position was about 3 seconds in front of me. So I was like, oh man, come on. So it was definitely tough. That was a first in my career never making the main. So unfortunately, it was my fault for putting myself in that position, but also, if that rider just didn't make a bonehead pass on me, I would have been all right.
Yeah. I watched on social media after that happened, and I got to give you a lot of credit because that's for a racer, that's a tough deal, man. That's tough. You're angry. You're pissed off. There's a bunch of reasons, and you went onto social media and you're like, I wasn't going to post on this, but you're like, you know what? I'm just going to own it. And, and like to me, like that shows, I don't know, to me that showed a lot about your integrity and you as a person. Like obviously you didn't want that to happen, but I'm just telling you as an outsider looking in, like I respect the hell out of the way you approach that because it wasn't an easy situation. I know you're pissed off and frustrated, but you just kind of owned it on social and man, I just honestly, you earned a ton of respect from me. Not that you didn't have it before, but just the way you handled that, man, because, there's a lot of riders who wouldn't have taken that road that you did.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I was definitely pissed off. I was embarrassed. It's just like, I should never be in that position, but, I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And, I already had a bit of a rough go from, the Kenny incident. So really, it's been a tough year, but I've still just kept plugging away and pushing hard, and I just want to keep trying to get better. That's all I can do, and that's always my goal is just to keep pushing to be at the front. And so I just took it like a man, and it was just another hit on the chin, because it's tough. After like the social media side of things, the fans and stuff really definitely don't hold back. I guess you could put it.
Yeah, that's what you can say about the Supercross fan base, right? They're a rabid group of fans, and love them or hate them, man, they will tell you exactly what's on their mind. Oh
yeah, they're pretty ruthless, but it's just there's a lot of the fans are just very diehard, and then you have a bad race, they're all upset, and then you have a good race, and they're all behind you again. So it's kind of just funny how it goes,
Yeah. That being said, I know obviously, you went down, you had the broken toe. You said, you had the problem with your foot. I think you had like a sprained ankle in that time too. And you said, your knee kind of got messed up. How you feeling heading into these last 2 rounds in Salt Lake City? I mean, is the health good? The foot, like, you feel like you've kind of overcome that? Is it still kind of lingering there? How you feeling? How's the health, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling better for sure. The foot's gone better. It's still like sore and kind of bugs me, but it's way better than it was. But I feel good. I feel like I rode really well here last year, and I just want to finish the season off strong. That would just be a big positive for me, and just to show everyone that I'm still capable of doing well, and that would be good for myself as well, just to finish off strong and then, another reset for outdoors.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, let's talk a little bit about, your team here, right? The Rockstar Husqvarna team. A couple of years ago, they signed you, you know what I mean? And for you, I think that had to have been a big moment in your career because, I know you've done some fill-in stuff here and there and you're bouncing around, but I mean, to get signed to a team and have, some stability, how's that been for your career to know, like, hey, I've got a home week in, week out, you know what I mean? And it's been for a few years now. That's got to be pretty big for a rider to get that stability finally in a career.
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. This is my 5th year with the team. So after we had a little breakup, I guess you could say, after the 2018 season, and they didn't re-sign me for 2019. And I still stayed on the Husqvarna, but it's kind of funny because before the season even started, they wanted me on the team. But I already had worked so hard on my own program and got my own sponsors, and I really, worked hard. I didn't want to just bail on them and go back on the team. So I raced the first 4 Supercrosses and almost won, the first round with, being a privateer. But then, they re-signed me again, and I was back on the team. So definitely that was, I mean, those times are always very tough. I think it brings, I feel like it kind of, in a way, life sometimes just does that to you, just to keep you on your toes and kind of will show you how bad you want it or not. You can either just call it a day and go get a normal job, or you can really fight for what you want. And I feel like at that time I really fought hard, and I was back to where I needed to be. It's just the hard thing is with this sport is when you get injured and you're riding with an injury, but you try to keep the injury quiet because you want to have a job for next year. You want to get a contract for the next year. And if they know that you're injured, they're not going to re-sign you. So you keep racing with this injury and your results aren't what they should be. It's tough. It's really tough. And a lot of us racers go through that. So unless you have like a good 3-year deal or something, it's not too bad. But when you're racing year to year for a contract, the injuries are the toughest part, and that's why it's so important to be injury free.
Yeah. How you feeling heading into outdoors? I mean, you mentioned that a little bit ago, and kind of wrapping up at Salt Lake. And how you feeling about the outdoor season to come?
I'm excited for it. I've probably had about 2.5 weeks of outdoors, but really just kind of focusing on getting these Supercrosses done, and then we'll really focus on outdoors. And I'll go back to California and test with the team and just get a really good setup, and that's the plan. So just really want to do a lot of testing before and just get as comfortable as I can, and do the best I can.
Yeah. Well, Dean, best of luck with these 2 rounds coming up here in Salt Lake, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and hopefully we see you on the box this weekend.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And we'll be back with Kristen Matlock up next right here on the Gentle Tire Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Bieber. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further further than Polaris in their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter